So. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live today from the Dominican Republic. And well, today we're having a nice interview guest because we're interviewing today the co-chairman. I hope this is correctly spelled. Jason Stone, and we have the interview with the BitGreen team. I hope you hear us well. I hope you see us well. Jason, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Here in the Dominican Republic is nice weather as usual. And well, we wrote a couple of times each other, and today we decided to make a nice live interview because a lot of people are asking me, Emanuele, can you do a live interview with BitGreen? And we have a few questions, and that's why we have Jason Stone here. And well, before we start, I want to tell a few lines about me. I'm Melchionda Network. My name is Emanuele Melchionda. I'm generally from Germany, and well, I'm 27 years of age. Since 2.5 years in the Masternode industry, in the Masternode niche, since 3.5 years in the crypto world. And well, I'm the CEO as well from the Masternode hosting platform Crypto Selfmade. And actually, we're expanding really, really fast, and it's really a nice and interesting niche, and that's why we have the live interview today. I hope you see us well. I hope you hear us well. We checked the quality. I hope you can see me good, Jason.
Yep.
Yeah, very good. Jason, what about you? Well, I talked about myself. What about you? Tell us our community about yourself. What you're doing. What are your functions in the BitGreen?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm Jason. I founded a crypto company called Battlestar Capital, which is actually a large-scale B2B staking infrastructure provider. So we work with Celsius Network, which is the second largest crypto lender, Monarch Wallet, BitGo, which is one of the largest custodians in the U.S., amongst a number of others. I got involved with BitGreen actually not as a core team member originally. I think February 2018, and then by the end of 2018 came on as, I guess, a foundation chair and one of the core team members. So right now I basically help direct operations and also am one of the actual signers on the foundation that we incorporated in Wyoming.
Yeah, this is what we are going to talk about. I mean, in the next minutes about a foundation, about the use cases, because we saw a lot of things change during the time. I mean, wallet updates, fake stake attacks and all that stuff. And that's why we want to, or better you, Jason, will answer all the questions for our community members. On the right side of our screen, we have a chat box. So if you guys have actually a few questions, let us know and we're here and answer all your questions. Well, first of all, let's go back to Genesis, Jason. What happened, or better saying, when was BitGreen founded, and what was the purpose of these coin?
So BitGreen was founded January 2018, or the actual project was founded in 2017, but we launched at the end of January 2018, and the original goal was very simple. It was to basically provide a proof point that the very simple, trustless transactability and store of value of Bitcoin could be done without the harmful aspects of proof of work, and that you could just very simply create a decentralized blockchain that everyone was trying to build the next best, biggest blockchain ever, and we wanted to bring it back to basics and say, we need a base layer that isn't based on proof of work, that is simple, that is not ICO, that's fairly mined, and that's what we have today. Yeah,
it's interesting to see that. Yeah, I mean, BitGreen is a rebrand, right? Actually, was Bitcoin Green in the first months. Yeah, what happened there specifically? Because a lot of people say, "Hey, Bitcoin, why are you using the name Bitcoin?" It's just
So that was a big part of it. We got a lot of hate from Bitcoin maximalists, and not just that. It actually was a very real issue when dealing with exchanges. And we got feedback from a number of different exchanges that accepted the fact that we didn't do an ICO, like we're not a security. We had they accepted our legal opinions, but they would not list us because of the name. Obviously, it took us a while to change, and the crypto ecosystem evolves every day. But this was consistent feedback that we felt we had to make a change for in order to be more applicable to everyone, right? Whether or not we're called BitGreen, formerly known as Bitcoin Green, or that our mission was originally just to provide these proof points about how you can do something like Bitcoin without proof of work. The mission and goals of BitGreen are one and the same of what Bitcoin Green was. It is really, due to the respect for the larger ecosystem, and we had to respond.
Yeah, sure. No, it's I think it's a better. It was better to change all that stuff. Now BitGreen has a nicer name. It's nicer, Yeah, well, let's move forward. And about the rebrand. So it changed from Bitcoin Green to BitGreen. And what actually changed? Nothing. Only the name, and the vision is behind that is the same.
Correct.
As it started. Okay. And then we've seen changes over time, Pivix had a lot of problems with fake stake and all that stuff. And is BitGreen actually facing these problems as well? And why? Maybe are you going to fix that stuff, or it is just fixed?
So it actually wasn't a fake stake attack. It was a manipulation of stake weight and then average stake size. We actually put that to bed, and when we released the new update, basically 3 weeks ago now, that update actually closed that loophole. But it was a temporary fix. We increased the minimum staking input threshold, as well as reduced the block rewards significantly, which will return to normal when we make the final update coming soon, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But basically what was happening is over a short period, 2 to 3 weeks, there was someone that was manipulating pieces of code that had come from Pivex and some others. And by the way, a lot of Masternode chains are being constantly attacked, and it has to do with manipulating stake weight and then redirecting block rewards based on winning the stake every time. So we closed that loophole. Not many coins were taken. It wasn't stolen, nothing was hacked, and there weren't any new coins created in the supply that shouldn't have been there. It was really just someone taking a large percentage of the available rewards who didn't deserve that.
Yeah, sure. So, because imagine they are manipulating the whole algorithm. I mean, this is crazy. They are going to dump all the coins on the exchange, and the price will fall. So it's better, because we saw the reduction from 8.5 BitGreens to 0.85, right?
Yeah, and it's going to go back up to the full block reward, notwithstanding other changes. And actually, when we do our next update, probably in 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to be a completely new code base. So we're reforking Bitcoin, the current Bitcoin iteration, from scratch ourselves, and not taking Pivex's or anyone else's implementation. And then we're basically doing our own implementation of proof of stake from regular Bitcoin Core, and then adding in some Dash Masternode features, a lot of the functionality that Dash Core has worked on over the last few years, atomic swaps, deterministic masternodes, and it'll just make it honestly a more it'll be more protected, and it'll also build on all of the functionality that other teams have been working on. That's very positive to pushing forward our mission. So we'll be safe from all of those forms of attack, and it's also just a very solid core update.
So actually, all the Masternodes holder from BitGreen, actually now they need to update their wallet once the wallet update comes, or what will happen there?
Yeah, we're gonna do a fair launch again. So we're gonna release the wallet a week or two before the actual changeover block, which we weren't able to do last time because we didn't want to notify the person that was abusing the blockchain. But yeah, this time everyone's going to get their wallets ahead of time. And yeah, once we implement it, things will return to normal. Well, normal in the new version.
Yeah, okay. So if you guys, now it's a little bit technical, and maybe the one or the other guys are not, I don't know what we're talking about. So maybe if you have any questions, let us know. And yeah, Jason is here; he's answering all your questions. Let's move forward. And yeah, let's talk about the focus of BitGreen and the use cases in the near future, or what you actually have, because you have sent me something really interesting, like a white paper, something like that, and community deck. Can you tell us about the partnership with these big guys like Uber and
Yeah.
all this?
So a lot of the tech updates that I was just referring to were planned even before we knew about that temporary attack. And the point of moving to this better system with much more functionality was in order to actually push forward this first use case, which we're putting forward around the time of the new wallet update. It might be a little bit after, but for all intents and purposes, you know, BitGreen is out there to show, to prove out how greener behaviors are better for the world, right? Just like the point of proof of stake over proof of work is not only like higher security in theory by, you know, needing to actually, or having the coin holders themselves be the hash power of the coin, be the actual deciders of what happens. So
Like a monopoly, right? A monopoly game is like just with
right, but at the end of the day, it becomes more and more expensive to buy that last coin. So in theory, proof of stake should be more secure than proof of work in that way. And while at the same time not using the crazy amounts of energy, you know, that proof of work does as you scale up. So what we decided to do, which was really indicative of what we set out to originally create, is this green incentivization ecosystem. And there's kind of two parts of it. There's the community-driven green ecosystem, and then there's the corporate-driven green ecosystem. What we're doing to start is we're going to be taking a segment of the block rewards, which we haven't decided on what it is. We're going to be voting as a community. But
like a governance, right? Like a governance voting.
It's going to be separate. So we have governance right now, and like a governance fund to fund development, et cetera. This is going to be almost like adding a third category to the block rewards. So, you know, imagine we take 10 or 20% of the block rewards every day, and it's going to go into a incentivization fund, right? And that fund, we're putting forward two initial initiatives on, and in the future, the community will vote on what that pool is used for. But at least at the beginning, we're focusing on things that people are already doing today. We're making it easy for them to want to get involved with Bitchi and integrating with existing use case points. So to start, we're going to be incentivizing greener travel behavior. Just at the beginning, what we're going to be releasing is something that for every Uber and Lyft pool you take,
that sounds good.
Imagine the pooling aspect, which is greener than just taking a cab on your own, you're going to be able to claim BitGreen. So
how does it work? It's just amazing to hear it.
Yeah. It's actually going to be really awesome. We're going to have a mobile app that basically allows you to sign up for, allows you to not sign up, but excuse me. So you sign in, right? Imagine you already have a Bitchi address, or eventually you'll be able to create one in that app. And then it asks you, you know, like connection points, right? And to start, you're going to have Uber and Lyft. And when you click on those, assuming that you have Uber and Lyft downloaded on your phone.
What is Lyft, by the way? It's like
Lyft
Uber,
is
or
the second largest ride-sharing app after Uber. They're more in the United States. They're a little bit in Europe, but Lyft and Uber, imagine they're the same thing. Basically, users are going to be able in an app to tag a BitGreen address to their Uber and Lyft account. And then once you enable that access, every time you take a pool, right, up to 5 pools a day, you'll get 1 BitGreen delivered to that.
It's like a cashback, right? Like telling like a cash.
No, I don't know if it's a cashback. It's more like a true like incentive program, right? People might not want to take Uber pool over a regular Uber, but it's a much greener action in terms of the ability to travel. similar to a company called Scoot or City Bike, right? Who has scooters and bicycles all around the United States. Those are going to be two of the next things that we're going to look at or propose to the community, because anything that's more green than the other way you could have done something is what we're really about, right? So imagine if we have, if you called it 10% of the block rewards, that would have been 1,400 or 1,500 coins, right? Going back to the regular block reward size.
Yeah.
Those 1,500 coins go into a holding address that distributes to people that basically have taken that action every day, and it's validated by those companies, right? There's no way to hack them and say, I took more rides, right? And unless you have, 10,000 cell phones, like you're actually taking the rides that you're taking, and you're getting, up to 5, BitG per day, 1 per ride. And that's going to basically expand the community of people, right? Even if 1 out of 10 people who are doing that then talk in their ride to other people about what they're doing, it's like a natural community growth dynamic. But it's also doing something real. And, enabling atomic swaps and, other things enables people to take that compensation, whether in BitGreen or in something else that they want, right? Like a stable coin or something that you atomic swap for. And it'll be a real catalyst, I think, for our ecosystem. And that idea of this ride sharing, the getting paid for biking, maybe a certain number of miles, et cetera, that's the community driven part, like incentivization part. When I was talking about the corporate side, our long-term goal, and we've been talking to a few companies about this, is getting actual corporations to go and pledge a certain number of coins to for a campaign that they want to sponsor, right? And they would set the per unit economics of, you take this action, maybe it has to do with their company, right? Like if we got Uber and Lyft to directly sponsor this and they were going to buy BitG in order to pledge it to a holding address that would pay out people automatically, or to get
it's going through the blockchain, right? I mean, everything is.
Well, that's all going through the blockchain, like the actual creation of the pledges and how people get paid out. Yes. But the idea is and this is actually in the new wallet UI video, you'll see this crowdfunding page. And what we've kind of morphed that into is this idea of corporate crowdfunding, where you get corporations or non-for-profits, NGOs, to want to incentivize green behaviors or good activities, right? And maybe it's the Salvation Army app gives you ways to sign up for different community services,
like plastic or something like this, because I mean you're moving into the right direction,
right? So recycling is a huge one right now. There's a lot of apps where you can scan your recycling, right, that are very well world renowned, respected. If we integrate into their existing APIs and say, for each amount of this type of plastic or this type of whatever, or this amount that you recycle, you get X back. That's something that people are already doing, right? And they're much more likely to do something or get paid for something if they're already doing it, So actually, we think that doing these types of community funds will reduce the block rewards slightly from what they were before. But at the end of the day, we feel that the value of the network will go up so much more because people are using it.
Yeah, I think this makes sense because I've discussed it a lot of times with my girlfriend. She's Ecologic too, and it's growing over time. I mean, maybe in the next few years, with the plastic, actually, it's a huge problem in the world. I mean, we need to solve these things, and step by step. I mean, BitGreen has a nice ecosystem. They're starting to build it, so we'll see what's happening over time. What are you saying about that, Jason?
I think that
you're positive about that.
Yeah, I am. And I think that as we come up on more and more real world issues over the next couple of years, and things really hit a critical mass, there will be even more interest in doing better activities, right? I know a lot of people some people around the world don't believe in global warming, but for those of us that do, and for those of us that think those people are a little nuts, we are going to be in a place where I think everyone's neighbor is going to be pushing one another to be more green, because we all want a planet to live on in 100 years together, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, gamification and challenging people to to do better and to be more green in whatever way that individuals feel that that challenge should be made is what we want to enable, right? And create an entire ecosystem around the gamification of, green incentives.
All right. All right. So at the end of the day, go green. Go green. Well, let's move to the next question, Jason. And you talked about the BitGreen Foundation, and which advantages does it have over the other coins, over the competition over there? And what about the upcoming events? So let's talk first about the foundation.
Yeah, I mean, the foundation is really just for transparency and accountability. It was the BitGreen Foundation coins, which make up about 6-7% of the blockchain, were being administered in a relatively transparent way up until now. But we felt like in order to get to a place where we are actually incentivizing these greener behaviors, and for people to trust that there's an organization in place that's managing the application of that, we needed to get to a place of real legal accountability.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the foundation is it's just registered in Switzerland as far as I know, right?
No, it's actually in the state of Wyoming. It's a 501c3 non-for-profit. So it's a non-for-profit entity by like U.S. law, and we may do an international foundation as well. But we needed something, given that a lot of the core team is in the States. We needed something that could enable us to, like, on a legal authority, control those foundation coins and then implement the next steps of this vision. In terms of upcoming events, we are planning both an Electrum and mobile wallet, as well as hardware determined masternodes, so the ability to stake from like a ledger or a tracer. I also think that some of the big event that's coming is going to be this major core update, which will be a shift to a fundamentally new blockchain almost. And we do have partners that are working on proof of stake exchanges that should be launching in the next couple of weeks as well. So I think that all of these things will contribute to price accretion, as well as just like notoriety, right? The more people using chains for whatever it is, the better.
Actually, talking about the stake-based platform. So actually, it's a centralized exchange, right? Where people have.
It's actually a separate team that is building it. Though we have some regular contact with them. We're big supporters of a place for proof of stake. The people that are dedicated to proof of stake to be able to transact themselves without going through Bitcoin every time. And I think there's a lot of Masternode coins in general that will benefit from that, as well as larger proof of stake coins. So that should be good for everyone. Yeah,
I mean, the Masternode niche is growing day by day. I mean, a few years ago, 2.5 years ago when I started, I saw actually over 10 Masternode coins, and now we are over 500. So it's actually the growth is exponentially. So we will see what's happening.
I actually think that from like my day-to-day life, what I do with the larger corporations for Battlestar and staking, I think that the Masternode game is ending in a way. I think that there's a couple coins that we've seen out there that have evolved out of that, right? Or, yes, Zcoin is a Masternode coin. Zen was originally, you have Polis, you have, Blocknet. Those things people don't buy into anymore just because they're Masternodes, I think. They're buying into them because they're doing some type of real world development and application, for their blockchain. And that's what's most important. So like, you don't see people randomly starting up, new coins anymore. I think that the few coins that have, perpetuated like into this day and age are things that have kind of grown out of that Masternode specific phase and are really starting to do real world work, which I think shows,
Yeah. It needs time, like BitGreen as well, to implement, and like the use cases, what are coming in the next months. So this is really important. We need that.
Yeah.
The people, the community need that. So.
Yeah, no, we do.
All right. Let's go further to the next question. Is yeah, do you guys think that these improvements, what are coming, like the mobile wallets, the stake base, and all that stuff, will increase the price a lot, or what do you think the Masternode niche is going to evolve, or better
So,
say,
so we have a really small amount of like total supply, right? It was structured in a way that was based off of Bitcoin, 21 million max. And if you actually look, there isn't a large volume of BitG traded on exchanges. I think that once we start to push forward the Uber and Lyft partnership, once we've released that, once we integrate things like Scoot and City Bike, hopefully by the end of the year, and start to, and the reason that we're focused on those things in that order is because they're things that people are already doing, and people who want to be more green or are willing to, take extra time out of their day to do something that's better or cheaper or better for the environment. So as we build to there and start to get, really, I think tens of thousands of new users like every few months, just because of the notoriety and, I guess, real world use case that the coin will have, will not only like increase the demand for BitG, which will naturally increase the price, but also get us out of that, like, or to the rest of the world, break us out of that Masternode coin shell. And that's really what the big exchanges want to see, right? Whether it's Finance or Upbit, BitHum, Kraken, they, for no price do they list like any old Masternode coin. Yet there are some Masternode coins that are on those platforms because they're doing something different, or they're doing something in the real world. And I think that that's where we start to, bring more people to the table. And in terms of getting the corporate partnerships, I think that proving out that we can build a community around these, incentivized green behavior initiatives.
And the volume is interesting as well. You need that.
Right. So we want to get to a point where people are, and corporations and non-for-profits are starting to see this and say, hey, people are really taking advantage of this social mining aspect, if you will, these rewards that can be given for people taking action. We're going to go and create our own campaign. And that's where the real demand starts to drive, by orders of magnitude. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see BitG at a couple dollars, in 6 to 8 months, without a doubt.
Yeah, but we need to have, we need more, investors, liquidity, more volume. And so after that, we can start to expand. But the most important thing is what we talked about, Jason, was like most of the Masternode coins are stuck in their bubble, right? Say, okay, we need to talk in Discord and this and that. But the most important thing is, you need to go out. You need to go to speak with bigger companies, with like Uber, like Lyft, what you talked about.
Exactly.
Only with this strategy, you're going to expand. If not, you will be stuck in there with your community members and say, okay, let's hope that we get, on $1, $2. So what's your?
It's actually funny. People complain a lot that the team isn't as active in Discord or Telegram, but I would guarantee you that we are doing far more than most teams in terms of like real development and pushing that out to the real world. Like we wouldn't be ready next month for, this integration that we're talking about if we hadn't been working on it for 3 months, we live in a world where, false promises and misinformation can be more detrimental than like waiting. And it's a balance, it's not easy we haven't wanted to overpromise, but I think that in the next 4 weeks, the community is going to be the existing community and the outside community will be very impressed at what we're doing. And we have a lot of good people around us. BitGreen is one thing where there's a lot of like Silicon Valley tech people that got in early that have just bought and held and either, been mining or just putting them in cold wallets since the very beginning that, have been, I'll say, hesitant to use their names in their involvement with BitGreen for good reason. But I think that some of those people will start to come out of the woodwork in, the next few months after we've kind of, made this shift and started to really show some, real world use. I think that in addition, like we have some very good news media outlets and resources at our disposal. And Ari Lerner is a very well respected reporter. The crypto briefing guys are very close with the team. And I think as we start to push these corporate partnerships and just getting word out that like you can get paid for your Uber pools, right? That is going to reverberate past the crypto ecosystem, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we started to work together a few weeks ago. We will push it further. I mean, we will do the next interviews in the next weeks as well when you guys have new updates and so far and so forth. So I'm still here. We will do more interviews together. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move forward to the next question, Jason. And what about the mobile staking? Why should people use it? I mean, it's like something, a new technology where the people say, hey, I have my smartphone, I have my mobile phone, I can stake with it, or it's just something additional?
So right now, mobile staking isn't live because we haven't pushed forward our final mobile wallet, but we actually are implementing in the new update true delegated staking, which means that without like your phone being live or your coins connected to the net, you can select someone to delegate to, not just for Masternodes, but also for just regular staking. And you'll be able, and that person basically runs just an empty wallet and gets a piece of the reward that you determine for them. So there's not going to be, I guess it's complicated. You're going to be able to set up your staking on mobile, but you're not going to have a live hot connection all the time in order to stake. Why is that good? Because for all the time that you collect these social mining rewards or other rewards where you're actually doing these behaviors, they go into your wallet, and your wallet is staking always with, you know, a provider. Then you're earning more coins, right? Which you can use to buy things or trade back into other currencies. And it basically, everyone wants to get as much, you know, positive yield as they can or additional coin for the coins that they have. So in my opinion,
but I mean, you need to stay online, right? I mean, how does
not with delegated staking actually. So in the original iteration, it was going to be, you had to be online with your mobile wallet. When we do this new update in a couple of weeks to the new code base we were talking about, it's going to include delegated staking, which basically works in a way where you can keep your regular staking wallet offline in the way you can with Masternodes. So you'll be able from mobile to set up like how you want to stake. You could do it yourself, or you could delegate your stake to someone else. And then if you delegate, your wallet can be offline, but you're still staking in a similar way to how Masternodes work. So
I mean, maybe we need to make a separate video about that.
Yeah,
if we
can
were
do a different video another time.
More technical things. Jason, we will do a video together. I mean, not live, but recorded, and you will explain the delegated proof of stake.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's better. Let's move to the next question. And guys, if you have any questions, Jason is here. He's taking his precious time actually, because he is really, really busy. So take your time and type in your questions, because Jason will be here for 10, 15 minutes more, and then he will go back to work. Jason, what about partnerships? What about exchanges? Do you guys have planned everything or anything behind the scenes?
Yeah, so I guess just the plan for the rest of the year through 2019. We are talking to 2 exchanges about listing. We'll probably see one in about a month or 2, and the other one more toward the end of the year. We don't feel that it's smart to just like list on the random like fake volume exchanges and pay 1 Bitcoin for that. It's just doesn't actually help anything. The real exchanges with real communities are what is worth it. So, you know, that aside, in the next, you know, three weeks or so, look for the, you know, the true blockchain update, which is going to be the, you know, new core from scratch. It's going to include deterministic masternodes, you know, a lot of the, as we said, the dash functionality, delegated staking functionality, all of the things that we need to put our Uber and Lyft integration, or our first, you know, green behavior incentivization project live, which hopefully will be as well in the month of September. So that is going to be like the first rung. We're going to be incentivizing or enabling people to claim BitGreen every day for taking, you know, pooled rides instead of single person rides. As I said before, we're looking at Scoot, the scooter company, and we're probably going to be adding like the ability to claim rewards for a certain amount of distance traveled. Maybe it's like 5 BitG per kilometer or something. And then we're also going to be doing the same with City Bike or bike ride sharing companies, where let's just say it's probably more work to bike far than it is to scoot far. So
Yeah.
plan that.
But this is planned worldwide, Jason. Sorry that I'm interrupting you. It's like worldwide, or just only for the States or for Canada or for
Uber
America?
and Lyft will be wherever Uber and Lyft are. I believe that Scoot is outside of the US, and I know that City Bike is outside the US, but they also have partners in like Amsterdam and everything in terms of like the mobile application. Yeah, so everything for these plans, right, comes from existing data hooks. We're not trying to be the special people that validate that you went from here to here in Uber or on City Bike on our blockchain, right? Like, that's the one thing that we're not focused on. What we are doing is taking existing trusted data hooks, right, that come from Lyft and from Uber, and using existing APIs that are built into these platforms, like the way that you actually like do the ride sharing or get the bike or get the scooter. They have all these GPS trackers, right? So you can actually use those existing data hooks, and you don't even need those companies' permissions to start hooking into things and start incentivizing behaviors on platforms that are globally respected and that have the, correct data outputs. So that's what we're focused on first. I'd say we're gonna hopefully get to number 3 or 4 down that list by the end of the year. And, early 2020, we'll be focused on adding a couple more. And at a certain point, it'll come down to our community voting for, let's take a larger percentage of the block rewards even and put these toward, towards social mining. And that we're not going to force, right? We need people who want to hold masternodes that understand that like more people getting involved through social mining will make their coins worth that much more because they'll be that much more used, Yeah. So, but it's really, at the end of the day, we're a community-driven blockchain, and it'll be the community's decision as to how much that reduction, deviation happens to. But long story short, in the first half of 2020, we're planning to bring on a couple of these larger corporate or non-for-profit partners who will go in and be buying, a set amount of coins and creating their own pledges. And like, maybe, as I said, like, we could do, guys have Goodwill and Salvation Army. Like maybe it's them saying, hey, you get an extra BitGreen reward if you donate at least 20 pounds of clothing, right? Yeah. And they're a global organization, and we're gonna handhold along the way, not the community decided on campaigns like the first ones I talked about, but the ones where we get corporations or non-for-profits to go and pledge an amount of coins. And the way that they're going to do that is setting aside budget to go and buy BitG, whether it's from the foundation itself or other ways, like directly from people or on exchanges, and then actually take those coins and pledge them back to social mining. So basically, we're going to have 2 different sets of coins, which can go to many different campaigns that are the social mining aspect or the green behavior incentivization.
Sounds really good, but I mean, it takes a little bit of time until everything gets implemented, right? I mean, it's going everything through.
Listen, mark my words, the Uber and Lyft stuff will be in the next 2 months.
In the next 2 months, it's really optimistic, and we hope so.
No, we've been working on it for a while, and it's actually like, remember, we're not building the validation piece ourselves, right? Yeah. We're actually taking, like, all you have to do as a user is have Uber or Lyft, and then press like, do you want to authorize this app to read your other data? And you say yes. And then your address is tagged to Uber and Lyft. And it's our side of the server that says, for people that conduct this activity, which is being told by the API to our system, for this activity, they get like one of the coins in this address, like up to 5 times per universal time day, right? And then it resets. So those coins are being put into that holding pattern in this new update. And actually, like, we've been really mapping this out for a while. That specific integration is not going to take so long. Getting new like corporations to want to buy coins to pledge them for green behaviors, that will definitely take longer. But the scooter stuff, the city bike and their partners around the world, that stuff is going to be driven by us, and the data hooks exist, which is why we're focused on incentivizing people for green behaviors that we can already track today, right? We can build that stuff. So yeah,
sounds good. No, if as soon as you guys launch all that stuff, we will do certainly videos in 3 different languages, so everyone will see us on his own language. I mean, we have Spanish over here, we have German, we have English. We will see. It gets really interesting. Another question, Jason. So what do you think? Where do you see BitGreen in 2021 or 22, like in a kind of about 2.5, 3 years? Do you see this as a mammoth project, or like a project this is going to grow steadily? I mean,
hold on one second. So I can't speak for 2021. I think that like we're laser focused, and until we get more dev resources, we are laser focused on these initial implementations, and we think that building out the community component and the larger I guess like both publicly driven campaigns and community driven campaigns forward, and to continue to iterate on that and really start to allow the community to both suggest specific behaviors that they want to see those coins used to incentivize people for, as well as really pushing to nonprofits and corporations the fact of like create your own, you know, green incentivization campaign for whatever behavior you deem fit, whether it be pure like pure non-for-profit activity, or whether it be something that incentivizes people to use your own platform. That's neither here nor there. As long as it's a behavior that is more green, like Beyond Meat, right? The people that make Impossible Burger could say, every time you buy an Impossible Burger at these outlets, right? Because they already have QR code scanners, we'll, you know, give you 2 bitchy or something. And they're going in and getting that bitchy, putting it, like using our interface to pledge it into the system. And then however many people are ordering those burgers get that reward, you know? That's the stuff that we want to start to get to, because it creates a 360-degree ecosystem where there's reasons to hold, there's reasons to buy, and, you know, it starts to level out itself naturally.
This sounds really good. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, let us know. And well, Jason, let us move to the next question. What can the community and investors expect from you guys? I mean, what can be the expectation for your community?
As I said, in the next couple months, you know, we're, first of all, like the team is very dedicated. We're going to be here. We're always taking applications for new developers as well. What you can expect from us is our, you know, long-term commitment to rolling out these use cases, like one after the other. And, you know, the more people that we have interested in that and contributing their opinions as to the types of things we should be rolling out to, the better it will go, and the, you know, faster it will take form. You know, we'll be here. We're always open for questions, whether it be in Discord, Telegram, etc. And we honestly, like, are going to start to do a bunch more AMAs so that people can ask these questions, and hopefully we'll get to a place where, you know, we'll be able to live chat with more people to garner like opinions than just, you know, written form. I see here that your last question is really around, you know, the Masternode niche has been suffering recently, and what do I see for the Masternode and proof of stake sector in general, or do I see a bright future? I see a bright future for the proof of stake sector, and I see a bright future for things like Dash, like Zcoin, Blocknet, Polis, you know, BitGreen, things that are evolving out of that, you know, Masternode idea. I mean, honestly, the connotation of Masternodes to a lot of people has this, or the idea of Masternodes has this connotation to many people that it's just like free money, and that developers aren't doing any work and there's no real reason for it to exist. And I think that for the most part, the coins that will continue to be here and be mainstays and that people will actually want to have or want to use will be things that we don't necessarily consider masternode coins anymore, right? Because the masternodes themselves are just serving they're just really serving like a validation function, and then and they're serving a purpose that is for a greater ecosystem, right? We're building in a lot of different specific functionalities that make our masternodes more like governance mechanisms, right? To enable people to decide on what they want to happen in the BitGreen ecosystem and the BitGreen blockchain, and how they want coins to be used and what they want them to be used for. You know, but the truth is that what we're doing as a team and organization is not really like, you know, just about masternodes. It's about using proof of stake and and the proof of stake incentive layer to get people to be more green. And there's a lot of opportunity there. And honestly, like, it's a good thing for the world, right? Whether it's
definitely
Beyond Meat, right? Or whether it's a company that's taking money to try and get more sales, or whether it's a true non-for-profit actor like a Salvation Army, whatever they're incentivizing people to do within the parameters of what we're allowing is a more green behavior, is better than what otherwise could have happened. And that's,
I mean, a lot of people don't understand this, because they watch the page, or they see the page, a homepage of BitGreen, and say, hey, another proof of stake coin. You know, it's sometimes we need someone that speaks about this. You know, that's why we have these interviews with you guys, because the people are going to see what's going on behind the scenes. You know, this is really, really important. I'm on this journey. I will do more interviews with you guys, because I think it's interesting. It's an interesting coin and interesting niche. So that's why we need to push more forward. So, yeah, well, I mean, the last question here from Rudy is, does the collateral stay the same for the time being, or it's time to change it in a different time? This is the question from Rudy.
Yeah, so the collateral is going to stay 2,500 even after the update. And the rewards are going to go back to what they were before, with the exception of whatever the community decides to divert for the social mining aspect. So imagine it will go back up to 8.5, 1.5, and the collateral level will stay the same regardless.
Okay, so we will go back in a 3-4 weeks, I suppose, so to 8.5 BitGreen each stake, or for each Masternode reward, right? Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for you guys, for your time, for watching this live stream. Thanks, a big thanks to Jason. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking your precious time. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you want to say something to your community, Jason, to closing.
Yeah, guys, we're here for questions.
Yeah, we're here for questions. If you guys have a few questions, let us know. We're here. Yeah, at the end of the day, we will do new videos in English, in Spanish, and in German for sure, explaining the governance, explaining how BitGreen really works. A video with you, Jason, how you explain all the functions from BitGreen. And yeah, for sure, we will stay here another 1-2 minutes. And for sure, guys, like this video, share this video, and comment as well. And it's really, really important, because a lot of people need to see this. It's an informational video, and yeah, really interesting video. And well, if you guys don't have any questions, we will say goodbye for now. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment. And we'll see us in the next interview, in the next live stream, or in the next video. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.